Well, I wonder if he's going to be up and around. He said he would. Marc Savard used to live in Grimshaw, used to perform in Grimshaw, used to perform all over Canada, but he's been in Vegas for several years, and he just got a contract extension. Gee, I wonder if he's going to pick up the phone or not.
Hello.
Hello, is this Grimshaw legend Marc Savard?
It is.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Marc Savard, former Grimshaw legend, now Las Vegas legend, and has been for a while. How long have you been in Vegas, Marc?
I've been here 8 years already. I know time just flies by.
And you've just signed a 3-year extension with V Theater.
At the Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino on the Strip. Yeah, who would have thunk?
Who would have thunk? Well, congratulations. Obviously, things are going well.
They are, and it's been a pretty exciting time the last week or so. So I've been doing a lot of different television and radio. And I told my wife last night I got to wake up early. And she goes, "Oh, what are you doing tomorrow morning?" And I said, Dan Mody from Peeps is going to be calling me. And she goes, "Who?" And and then I'm like, "Are you kidding me? I've been doing all kinds of crazy things as far as media is concerned, and this is the one I have butterflies about because you're a legend. I mean, I've been listening to you since I was a teenager, and well, the reality is that the first time I met you was probably 25 years ago, but it wasn't you. It was actually Uncle Ray Lavoie dressed as you for Halloween."
That's right too. Your wife actually said that, eh?
That was pretty funny.
That's my wife says that too. Still, who? I said, remember me? We've been married since 1976. Anyway. Yeah. Speaking about smoke and mirrors, let's talk about your act. So, how have things changed for you? Obviously, you're doing something right. How has your show changed? I mean, you're on the Strip in Vegas. That's about the highest that a show guy can get. I mean, you got to do something right to keep the people entertained there. When they go to Vegas, they expect the best.
Well, and you know what's really neat about that is I think what the secret to my success has been was the fact that I was a small-town Canadian kid. And let me explain that. In Canada, when I was touring all over the place, I played the same audiences over and over and over again. And when you do that, you have to keep reinventing routines, keep reinventing your act. And when I came to Vegas, I had about 10 hours of material that I could choose from that I had seasoned, over a decade and a half. And that, I think, is what is kind of attributed to the ability to kind of play all the different audiences here and connect to the audiences. So I think that, being a small-town Canadian kid actually was an advantage to me.
So doing some of the same stuff you did a couple of decades ago in Grimshaw, but it's still working for you?
Well, not only that, the show's developed over time, but the core essence of what what the performance is, has really, spanned all over North America. I've toured with it, from coast to coast, and when something works, don't change it. And the show's evolved, but it still really is my personality on stage, which is what, is fun for me because, I guess I get to put my personality into it. I get to interact and banter with the people who are hypnotized and participating in the show. I don't feel like an entertainer that's saying, a song 15,000 times and you go up on stage and you belt another one out. Every night it's new and fresh for me, and I think that's what, the audience is connecting to that, and that's what's kind of been some of the secrets to the success.
And what are you doing, Marc? 6 days a week? Is that the schedule?
It is 6 days a week. Every night I have a 10 o'clock show, and I'm off on Fridays, so I have my Friday nights off.
Okay. And besides you on stage, what else is there? Kind of try and describe for us on the radio here. Obviously, it's kind of limited, but try and describe for us what people would expect to see when they come to your show.
Well, again, I'm at Planet Hollywood on the Strip. They come into the hotel there, and the theater I'm at is at the V Theater, and it's a nice little size theater. It's about a 400-seat theater. And people come up as volunteer basis. Whoever wants to participate comes up on stage. And I have an assistant that I use, a lovely female assistant that helps me out on stage. And people come up on stage. They volunteer to be hypnotized. I narrow it down to the 10 or 12 best participants who enter the hypnosis at the deepest. And then I make them do all kinds of ridiculous things. I hypnotize them to, dance like they're in river dance, or I'll turn them into a boy band, or they'll follow commands that I give to a voodoo doll. And who knows, maybe near the end of the show it gets a little more risque, and we have the guys, I think they're auditioning to be in an adult film, and they're demonstrating their moves. So it can kind of get a little crazy because it's Vegas, and the crowd loves it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, what kind of response do you get? And can you tell me one or two specific responses over the years that you remember somebody did something even you weren't expecting?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because we were talking about this a couple of days ago and amongst our staff, and just seeing how, because I have an office staff and marketing team, and it's kind of turned into, from a little mom-and-pop organization from my parents' basement in Grimshaw to, a little corporate headquarters in Las Vegas, and it's been very rewarding. But it's so funny, we were talking about it with the staff, and I do a routine where I hypnotize someone who, whenever I shake their hand, they get the worst case of jock itch that they've ever had.
No.
And the guy, I go up and I introduce him. I say, "Oh, hi, what's your name?" And he says, I go to shake his hand, and he starts scratching away, and he says his name is Jock. And, so then I laugh, and the audience laughs, and then I say, "Oh, sleep." So he slumps over in his chair, he sleeps again, and then I said, "Well, okay, your name is your name, it's not your condition." I thought he had picked up that suggestion. So then I have him pop his eyes open again, and I say, "Okay, well, now, hi, well, what's your name?" And he responds, "Jock," again. So now I'm confused, and so I turn to his friends, and I'm like, "Who is with this guy? What's his name?" Thinking, now, is it, maybe he's French-Canadian and his name is Jacques, so I'm confused at this point. So they yell from the audience, his name is Jock. So I turn to the guy again, I'm like, your name is Jock, how do you spell that? And he goes, Jock. So I actually make him pull his identification out of his pocket and look at his ID, and sure enough, his name is Jock. And what are the chances, first of all, that your name is Jock? Who names their kid that? Second of all, what are the chances of coming to Vegas? Third, picking my show. Fourth, deciding to volunteer in my show, and getting picked out of the 10. And then I give you that suggestion. So needless to say, I went and put a few bucks in the slot machine, because my luck was hot. But
absolutely. Hey, speaking about Jock or Jacques, do you do any parlez-vous français in Vegas?
Mais oui, je parle français avec un nom comme Marc Savard. Faut bien que je parle français un peu.
And they actually know what you're saying?
It's surprising to see how many Canadians come to the show. Either they come because, the spelling of my name, and I think I'm French-Canadian to support it that way, or it seems that within every week there's somebody from the Peace Country that comes up to me and says hello after the show, be it from Manning or Dixonville or Falher, and that's just a touching thing for me, and that's a really cool thing to have people that have been supporting my career over 18 years. And
I was going to ask.
The reality is, without that, if nobody buying show tickets, I'm not working. So that's just been a real pleasant surprise. Yeah,
I was wondering if you have any way of bringing in your hometown and area references into your show.
I do all the time. There's always some little jokes or something that I throw in there, and if I have some family or friends come into town, I'll throw in some custom jokes that I throw in. And as a matter of fact, about 10 days ago, I had a couple of buddies coming that were in the audience, and I do this little voodoo bit, and I have a little voodoo chant that I pretend I do this little magic voodoo word, and I think I threw in the word Grimshaw Huskies for them, because I used to play for the Grimshaw Huskies. Little things like that. And the rest of the audience is oblivious, but it's a nice little personal touch, and it's fun for me, and it's fun for my friends.
Absolutely. Marc Savard, I'd love to talk to you some more. Got to run, though, but congratulations on your success, and we're certainly hoping that you stay there for a long time. You can go online and actually reserve seats, right, for your show?
You can on my website,
MarcSavard.com. And Marc is M-A-R-C, Savard, S-A-V-A-R-D.com. Yeah, you can follow Marc on Twitter. You can go to vtheater.com and check it out through there as well.
I appreciate you calling. It's a real pleasure. Thanks, Dan.
Marc, for you to be performing every night and for getting up this early to do my show, I really, really appreciate that. And we've touched base before, and I hope we will do that again.
I hope maybe this time it'll be in Vegas and you could volunteer and let me hypnotize you.
Oh, my. I think they'll shut the show down if you do that. Hey, it's so good to talk to you, Marc, and continued success.
Thank you very much, Dan.
And when your wife says who, Tell her.
I sure will. It's Dan Mody. Mody in the morning, Wild Country.
Have a great day, man.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more of my videos, just go ahead and click on this link right here. That'll allow you to browse my channel and check out the different videos we got. If you'd like to subscribe, that's even better. We'll notify you when we put up a new video on our channel. We'll send it to you by email. Also, last week's video, that's easy. It's right here. Go ahead and watch it. Some great stuff right there. I think you'll like it. Anyway, thanks again for stopping by. We'll see you next time.